all of this for you all. Yeah, and I love it. Yes, you're new and doing your homework. That's a great way to describe it, Vinny. Renee, 7 dogs. Wow. So you're going to have a lot of different learners that you have opportunities to model for. And yeah, whoever wants to opt in, that's great. It doesn't have to be everybody. And modeling, just generally narrating what you're doing, pressing the corresponding buttons and seeing who is paying attention, that's great. And I had a fully blind cat who was able to uh, use the buttons, and she never saw me model them and was still able to successfully, use not only her board but the main dog board as well. So yeah, keep modeling even if it doesn't seem like they're paying attention. You'd be surprised. All right, and a little bit of housekeeping before we get too much further. We do recommend Chrome or Safari. If anybody's having trouble seeing the screen, hearing the presentation, again, aside from my little, you know, silhouette being blurry or whatever for you all, the presentation itself hopefully should not be. And if it is, let us know. We'll be able to help out. And this is being recorded as well, and you're always welcome to come to a future bootcamp if you need to dip out today for some reason or technology doesn't want to play nice. All right. And on the agenda today are introductions, which we're doing right now, and I'll finish introducing myself as well. Then we'll chat through the keys to button teaching, modeling first words, and target training. This is an interactive discussion, so feel free to ask questions throughout in the chat. And in the chat, it's just a little bit easier for me to keep track of everything and make sure I fully answer your question. And then we'll share additional resources and have more time for Q&A. If there's anything lingering, if it's easier to talk through questions that you may have. All have been so great. And if anybody hasn't had a chance yet to do so, feel free to just type in the chat and I'll see it when it comes through here. Oh, yeah. So my name is Morgan Krug. I'm a certified dog behavior consultant. I've been working professionally with animals for 18 years now. And while investing for teaching my blind cat Jasper to use the buttons, who's pictured here, I've had success with multiple dog learners, including my border collie Adora, who's been at it for 4.5 years now. And I have a 1-year-old tuxedo boy who loves to use the buttons. He's one-eyed. And then Katie, who, as you saw, is not shy about asking for her meals and the exact combination of things that she wants. Oh, and Jenna added that we also have quail. People have been telling me about chickens and a lot of other animals that have learned. I think that all those animals are smarter than quail, so I'm doubtful. But I'm open to talking about the idea. Yeah, there's also, I feel like there's been peahens who have been successful. Um, I'm trying to think. I'm not as familiar with the birds, but there have been multiple species that have had success with the buttons. It really just comes down to, with all of our learners, a lot of repetition and figuring out what might motivate them. So sometimes having different grain options, different, I saw where somebody had a really high value like cricket button, but if they picked that one, they would get a different reinforcer that way. There have been guinea pigs who have been successful, different from guinea fowl, obviously, but yeah, there's lots of zoo animals that are currently learning too. So as long as you stay open and are willing to be repetitive with it, you might be surprised. I'm very intrigued. I definitely want to talk more about this as we go through here. And a little bit more about us as a company before we dive too much further in here. And there's my buddy Bernie. While Alexander Rossi and Christina Humber were using buttons previously with their learners, FluentPet is the original button teaching system. So what does that mean? It means the buttons were designed specifically for animals as an entire interacting system, and our mission is to figure out how to teach dogs, cats, and the other animals we share this planet with how to talk, or an approximation of it. And we believe that pulling this off will take a village, a community that can develop and share button teaching tips and tricks and work together to discover the most successful button teaching approaches. So that is where you all come in. Our success in this mission entirely depends on your success with your learners, and the more of us who are able to progress, the faster we can figure out just how far all this can go. And in case any of you are wondering how far can all this go, we think this video really helps paint a picture of what's possible. You'll probably recognize Alexis and Bunny.
The foundation for getting started with buttons is just a desire to connect. I can't remember the exact order, but I think she pressed stranger mad. And I was like, what does that mean? And then ouch paw. And then she came over to me and she put her left paw in my hand. And I was like, okay. And I looked between her toes and she had a foxtail stuck between her toes.
This is the stranger in her paw. She's got a mat between her toes.
He was able to request medication multiple times after having an eye procedure with eyes and help or some combination of that. And it's not all medical related. There's lots of fun examples too. One of my favorite early ones was with Scout, a cat hula mix, who would repeatedly combine water and bone. It took us a little while to figure out what she wanted, but it was ice cubes. And so she got an ice cube button and was able to advocate for herself in that way. So it really is amazing how creative they can be, even with a limited vocabulary. And Bunny with the Stranger Paw video was the inspiration for me getting started with my crew. So it never gets old to me. It's so great. All right, so how do we actually begin? How do we start? Our very first step is modeling. And before you have your buttons set up, whether you're waiting for them to be shipped or waiting to decide what you want to set down, you can be practicing this verbally. Narrate whatever you're doing, narrate what you observe them doing. We can practice being specific with our language. I kept a list while I was waiting for the shipment just to get an idea of what I said most often. And if my learners were excited by what I was saying, and it was easy to say yes to, then it went on a short list of potential buttons. And since modeling is how we teach our learners what these concepts mean, early on, trying to pick buttons that are easy to say yes to so that we can readily capture their excitement, their enthusiasm around the board, and teach them that this is an amazing tool that they now have available to them. So once you have your buttons set up, and we'll talk about how to choose those first buttons in a couple slides, don't worry. But once you have them set up, then there's 3 simple steps. First, press the button. The more immediately you can follow through and the more frequently you can repeat and follow through, the better. Think like 10 to 15 times a day. If you can get that many reps in, then typically you've laid a pretty strong foundation for your learners. They might not understand how to press themselves yet, but they at least will understand the different buttons mean different things. So press the button. Step 2, follow through, say yes, and show them the meaning of the word by making it happen. And then step 3 is repeat. It's a lot of